VCs talk a lot about their wins. They don't talk as much about their losses. And so I want to ask, I mean, look, $1 billion in capital, that's a lot of bets. What is the worst bet that you have made in
Well,
your
I
career
won't.
at
Here's
Slow?
what I'll say. I
I
won't
want
point out the specifics, but look, I actually think one of the nice parts, one of the great parts about being a seed investor versus a late stage investor is you have permission to make mistakes, right?
to.
When
Okay.
you're a late stage investor, you really can't lose money. When you're an early stage investor, yes, you need the 1,000x returns, the 2,000, and we've had those. But the
Okay.
cost of getting to do those is you actually get to be wrong all the time. I have no problem being wrong.
And
How we've been
what have you been wrong about?
Oh, so many things, everything. I think the most obvious and kind of somewhat funny in hindsight ones is like the things that are just outright frauds, right? So if you're an early stage investor, you're gonna have things you invest in that turn out to just be straight up fraudulent. Now you don't want that number to be too high, but for us, we probably run a 1% it's just fraud rate, right? And we literally have entrepreneurs that are in jail. And then you've got the category of things where you just I think one thing you fall in love with an idea and you squint at the person, right? This happens all the time to seed investors. We're like, there's some market or idea you absolutely love, right? You think it's a great idea. You'd love to see it happen. And you look at the entrepreneur, you're like, they're not quite what I'm looking for, but maybe they'll grow into it. But when someone's not good enough, they're just not good enough. And I think that's like a classic mistake pattern. You also see the opposite, right? Where sometimes there's a person who's just unbelievably compelling, but their business approach isn't quite right. And again, when you're a seed investor, you expect evolution, you expect change, you expect pivots. And so you
Hmm.
bet on the person, but it is sometimes you just have the person who, for whatever reason, is working on the wrong thing. So we lose money more than we make it, right? Like not in aggregate dollars, but like on a number by number basis, we definitely have tons of write-offs. One thing I think actually has been interesting the last few years is if you looked 5 years ago, any seed investor, us and everyone else, you look at your portfolio and be like, we have the wins, and then we have a lot of maybes, right? Because the capital is so robust. The
Right.
company will just exist forever and get pushed along. I actually think we're entering a healthier period where there is a more natural mortality rate. Like when things don't work, people should move on, right? So we have tons of losses. And why is lots of reasons, but there are those clusters.